Gather round, little friends, for an adventure so sweet it might just give you a toothache. Our story begins in a town just like yours and mine, where houses were made of gingerbread and streets were paved with chocolate. Our hero, Toby Tumble, lived in a candy cane cottage with his family. He loved living in this magical place, known as the Sugar Kingdom, and he especially loved sweets, especially cookies. He would gobble down entire packs of them without even brushing his teeth after. One day while walking home from school, Toby stumbled upon a magnificent sight, a gigantic lollipop tree with branches as thick as pillars and lollipops that sparkled like jewels. He couldn't resist and took a big bite, but this was no ordinary lollipop. It tasted like pure sunshine and rainbows, like every sweet imaginable had been melted down and squeezed into one tiny treat. Its flavor was so extraordinary, it sent Toby tumbling through a swirling vortex of sugar stars and landed him right inside the lollipop tree. He found himself in a world of pure imagination. Rivers of chocolate flowed lazily between mountains of vanilla cream, and marshmallow clouds dotted the horizon. A gentle breeze carried the scent of freshly baked cookies and fizzy drinks. In the distance, Toby could see a majestic palace made entirely of marzipan. As he walked towards the palace, he met all kinds of funny characters. There was a singing marshmallow who serenaded Toby with a song about the joys of being sticky, a gingerbread man who regaled him with tales of his daring escape from a hungry witch, and a chocolate bunny who taught him a jiggly dance that made his nose hairs wiggle. Finally, Toby reached the magnificent marzipan palace and stepped inside. He gasped in awe at the sight before him. Inside the palace, everything was made of delicious sweets. There were jelly bean chandeliers, licorice curtains, and gumdrop tables. And behind a throne of pure white chocolate sat the most beautiful creature Toby had ever seen. She had wings made of spun sugar and a crown of marzipan. This was the legendary Sugar Queen. "Welcome, Toby Tumble," she said in a voice as sweet as caramel. "I have been expecting you." Toby blushed at the attention and stammered, But how?" The Sugar Queen smiled mysteriously and gestured for Toby to sit on a nearby cupcake. "You have a kind heart and a sweet tooth, Toby Tumble, and that is why I have chosen you to be my royal taste tester." Toby's eyes widened in surprise. "Me? But there are so many other people in the Sugar Kingdom who love sweets more than I do." The Queen waved her magic wand, causing a shower of silver sparkles to rain down around them. "You misunderstand, Toby Tumble. I don't want just anyone to be my royal taste tester. I want someone special, someone who can appreciate the finer points of sugar." And so, Toby Tumble became the official royal taste tester of the Sugar Kingdom. Every day he indulged in new and exciting sweets. He sampled fudge as rich and dark as the night sky, toffee as light and airy as a feather, and candies from far-off lands that tasted like exotic fruits and flowers. He learned about different types of chocolate, the subtle difference between Belgian and Swiss, the distinct notes of caramel, and the velvety smoothness of dark chocolate. He even developed his palate to taste the nuances of sugar, from the sharp bite of raw cane to the smooth sweetness of powdered sugar. But as weeks turned into months, Toby began to feel unwell. At first, it was just a dull ache in his teeth, but soon it became a sharp, throbbing pain. One morning, he woke up feeling terrible. His gums were bleeding and his tongue felt as heavy as lead. "I think I need a dentist," he mumbled, barely able to get out of bed. The Sugar Queen, hearing of Toby's plight, sent for the Tooth Fairy Guardian, a magical being whose sole purpose was to protect the Sugar Kingdom from the evils of tooth decay. With a wave of her magic wand, the Tooth Fairy Guardian transformed Toby's mouth into a sparkling wonderland. She tickled his gums with cotton candy clouds and flossed between his teeth with shimmering rainbow thread. But the damage was done. One of Toby's teeth was so rotten, it needed to be pulled, and the Tooth Fairy Guardian warned him that if he didn't take better care of his teeth, the rest of them would be next. Overcome with shame, Toby retreated to his room. He missed his old life in the Sugar Kingdom. Why had he been so foolish as to eat so much sugar? Suddenly, a booming voice echoed through the palace. "What's all this then? What's happened here?" Toby jumped in surprise. Standing in the doorway was a tall, muscular man with a green mohawk and biceps the size of watermelons. This was Captain Healthy, the ruler of the neighbouring Kale Kingdom. "Toby, my boy, what on earth has happened to you?" asked Captain Healthy, rushing to Toby's side. Toby explained how he'd fallen ill due to his sweet tooth. "Well, that's no good, is it?" boomed Captain Healthy. "You need to come with me." Before Toby could ask where they were going, Captain Healthy picked him up and swung him over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes. "Don't worry, Toby. I know just what to do," he said with a wink. He took Toby to a magical land where trees bore kale leaves instead of apples, and rivers flowed with vitamin-rich spring water. This was the Kale Kingdom. Here, Captain Healthy introduced Toby to his royal nutritionist, a wise old owl who concocted a bubbling green smoothie that tasted like sweet nectar. Then Captain Healthy led Toby to his royal exercise coach, a squirrel with biceps the size of acorns, who put him through a series of jumping jacks, push-ups, and crunches. But the most surprising thing about the Kale Kingdom was its abundance of sweets. However, these were no ordinary sweets. They were made with natural sugars, like honey and maple syrup, and were full of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. Toby sampled honey lollipops infused with the pollen of 1,000 flowers, maple taffy pulled until it was as thin as spider silk, and fruit leathers that tasted like sunshine and summer rain. As days turned into weeks, Toby began to feel healthier and happier than he'd ever felt before. His toothache was gone, and his gums were strong and pink. He realized that the real secret to happiness wasn't in eating as much sugar as possible, but in enjoying sweets in moderation and making sure to brush your teeth afterwards. With newfound wisdom and a cavity-free smile, Toby returned to the Sugar Kingdom. He thanked the Sugar Queen for showing him the wonders of sugar, but explained that he needed to return to his life in the real world. The Sugar Queen understood, and with a wave of her magic wand, she transformed Toby back into his old self. Back in his own world, Toby continued to indulge in sweets, but now he did so with a sense of responsibility. He brushed his teeth twice a day, ate plenty of fruits and vegetables, and never ate too much sugar in one sitting. And whenever he felt a twinge of a toothache or a rumble in his tummy, he knew that it was time to cut back on the sweets. The end. Did you learn your lesson? Share this video with your friends so they can learn about the importance of balance and moderation when it comes to sugar. Don't forget to subscribe for more fun and educational adventures. See you next time.